Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Health and Harmony Girls podcast. Thank you for tuning in again, and we love you guys so much for all your support always. Today, we are going to touch on 6 things to remember when you feel hopeless, because sometimes I feel like in the world that we're currently living in, it's a completely different world to how it was 2 years ago. That days where you wake up and you do just feel hopeless, and that is okay. You're not always going to feel amazing. You're not always going to feel full of hope. So these are just 6 things to remember when you feel hopeless. Write them down, stick them on your mirror. If you feel like you're having a hopeless week, maybe say them to yourself every day, but you know how it goes. We always say write things down, write it in your notepad, whatever works for you. But yeah.
Okay, let's dive right in, girl, because we get carried away with the chitty chats.
Yes. Let's start. Okay, so number one. You are not what you have done. You are what you have overcome. So I read that like a 3-year-old. Okay. You're not what you have done. You are what you have overcome. So like we always say, you cannot change the past. The present is all that you have. There's no point in fixating on things that you've done in the past. We've all fucked up in some sort of a way, whether it be, the list could go on, flipping finances, with your family, with your friends, with your relationships, with yourself, whatever it is. We've all done something embarrassing as all hell, and we wished that we had never done it. So find that out in your life and just remember the things that you have overcome. And more likely than not, that situation that you have done that you're embarrassed about is something that you have overcome. So rather look at the positive side and think, I've overcome that. I've passed through that in my life. I don't have to think about it anymore, because you are not defined by things you have done in the past. You are only defined about who you are completely now.
I love that. I was actually going to say, I just absolutely, and I'm like, nerd alert, but I love the way that sentence is structured, because it is such a like perspective shifting sentence when it says, you are not what you have done, you are what you have overcome. It's just a beautiful way to say, yeah, we make mistakes, but those mistakes are actually the things that we have overcome. So love that.
Love it.
Number twee. That is Afrikaans for those outside of our country. It may feel like you are being left behind and that everyone else is moving forward too fast, but the truth is we're all struggling, so don't panic. You're not alone there. I think that's so true, and it's something that I've been speaking about a lot lately, is that we are all in the same boat. Yes, our boats might be different, but we were all sailing the same fucking crazy seas. So even if someone, and also we talk about the highlight reel on Instagram, even if other people look like they're doing fine and they look like they're thriving, they're probably not, or they are probably dealing with something else that they are not sharing on their platforms or not sharing with people. So just remember that we are all going through shit, maybe not the same shit, but similar shit. Different stages of shit, different textures of shit, but it's all shit at the end of the day. And also remember that we all go through things at different paces. We all have different coping techniques. We all have different ways that we view things and different people and support structures. So yes, Sally might have also had the same issue that you've got right now, and she's fine, but it's fine. You might take a little bit longer. Like I was even saying to hubby this morning, he kept saying, because we both got COVID, that he was like, his immune system was so much weaker because he got really sick. And I was like, I'm fine, okay, like I'm not great, but I'm not terrible. I'm like, look at you now, you're fucking healthy, you're going to gym, and I'm still here being like, I'm not better. So we both had the same shit, but his was like worse for a quicker time and mine was not as bad for a longer time. So I think like just with everything in life, realize that we all go through shit. We all just deal with it differently.
I love that you use that as an example, because I'm like, you can either have something really bad happen and then it's done really quickly, or you have like a lot of misfortunes that are happening over a longer period of time, and it's just how you deal with things. So I love that you use an example. Okay, number 3, it is better to be half full than half empty. So this is also a perspective shift. Rather, I mean, I'm sure you guys, if you've never heard this saying, you've been living under a rock, but it's glass half empty or is the glass half full? It depends what perspective you have and how you want to look at things. But obviously, it's always great to rather focus on the positive. So look at things rather as being half full than being half empty. So instead of looking at what's lacking, look at what you have. Instead of looking at what you don't have, look at the things that you are gifted every single day. Like we always say, be grateful for the things that you have and you'll be gifted more.
And you know what I heard the other day, because they were talking about the half empty, half full cup thingy, and someone was like, I'm just damn grateful I have a fucking cup. And I was like, that's such a good way to look at it.
I have a beautiful mug.
Like, at least I have a cup to start with. At least I can actually have something to put the water in. I was like, that's also such a good like perspective shift and a different way to
Yes.
things. So there's always a different way to view things, and try your best to just look at it as the cup, or the cup that's
I've literally got a cup to drink out of, bitches.
Okay, number 4 is that we are all living a unique and different life that only makes sense to us, and yours is no different because it is different too. This is so important, I think, and we speak about this a lot always as well, but everyone's got a different path. Everyone's got a different unique sense of you-ness. And when you realize that your life is yours the way that it is because it's your life and you can do it the way you want, that's like so freeing as well, because we all try to fit into these cupcake molds of like 31 years old, 2.5 kids, married, big, like beautiful house in the mountains, whatever like you have been told is a version of success. We all strive to like have these things, but have we ever really just sat down and be like, is that going to make me happy? Like, do I really want a big house? I fucking hate mopping. I hate cleaning. I hate like all of those things. Having a big house just going to make that like one of my pet hates. I mean, that's a silly example, but just really like start to think about what you're striving for, because we all do go for these like cookie cutter versions of success and happiness, and it doesn't necessarily work for everyone. What works for you is what will make you happy. So for me, like, I would love to live in a little like hut on the beach side on a tropical island somewhere. But someone else could find that like the worst idea ever. But for me, that's true happiness. I love the sea. I love having a small little place, because I don't spend a lot of time indoors. Well, I mean, I do now with COVID and working from home. But if I could choose, I would love to just be able to walk through like a little door and I'm on the beach. Like I have one room to clean. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Reevaluate.
I love that you spoke about that, goal, because I'm like, sorry, I was just gonna say it's the exact same thing as like some people are like dying to live in a mansion and drive a Ferrari, and then you get other people that are dying to live out of the van of the back of their car and literally drive around the countryside and visit different places. Like everyone's got something different that's going to make them happy in life, and you, like Rox is saying, have to find what makes you happy.
Because we're all unique and different.
Exactly. We all have different lives to live. Imagine if we all lived the same boring lives. It would be so shit.
The world would be so boring.
Completely. Okay, number 5. It is number 5, right? Yeah. You're trying to act normal while battling unimaginable pain, but don't forget that it's okay to take a break and do something you enjoy. So I think it's super important to remember everyone battles their own kind of battle. I mean, you may be battling internal battles. You may be battling stuff with your finances, with your job. You may have gone through loss. I mean, the amount of people that have gone through unimaginable pain with loss in this last, year, but especially in our country in the last like few months, there are people that are passing away like every single day, and people that we know personally. So I think just to realize that you are going to be okay eventually, of course, but to also realize that on that journey towards healing and towards being okay, that it's okay to take a break and do things that you enjoy. So yes, you may be dealing with pain, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to take a day's break or take an hour or take 20 minutes to just do something that makes you happy. And you're still going to grieve. You're still going to feel that pain. You're still going to work through those emotions, but you're allowed to take time for yourself to do something that does make you happy and to do something that you enjoy.
100%. I think a lot of people, especially when they're going through like a heavy grief or a heavy like situation, feel guilty if they find themselves like laughing or doing something that like feels like they're having fun. And that's actually such an important process and part of being able to come out of whatever you're going through on the other side. I know with my dad passing, like I did in the beginning, I was like, how can I like laugh at a joke? How insensitive, like my dad's dead. I can't laugh. I should be like really super depressed and emo and like, and it's such bullshit. Like the moments that I found myself with my mom and my sister like laughing or like going to a shop and like hearing a song and we both all start like dancing in the middle of the shop, like those were the moments that actually got us through the heaviest part of our griefs, because we were allowing ourselves to feel that like happiness again. And I think we all do when we are going through heavy times, forget how good it feels to feel good. And that is something that can really help you through harder times. And I know it sounds so silly to like have fun during these times, but that is something that can really help your mindset, help you just like maintain your mental health, because we need happiness in our lives, we need fun. And that's one small thing that we can try to do through these moments to keep our sanity.
I love that, girl.
Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Judy calls. Real life happens.
Real life situations. Here we are. We're just two normal girls living normal lives, and we have things to do in between our podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, like, just to end off, it's so important for us to have fun in everything that we do, in every single part of our lives, and not just like when you get home from work. Like, try to see how you can have more fun in your career. Try to see how you can have more fun in your spirituality, in your health, whatever it may be, in all these aspects of your life, because we lose touch with having fun. And that's like the best part about, well, remembering about being a kid, was that we just had fun all the time.
Completely. 6.
What does it mean?
Yes.
Number 6. Oh, I'm smacking out the Afrikaans today, y'all.
Number 6. I'm like, guys, literally clockwork. This baby wakes up to feed. So if you hear,
okay, so okay, so sometimes the people around you won't understand your journey, and they don't need to, because it's not for them. That's beautiful. And that's similar to point 4, where we're like, we're all unique and different. The journeys that we are on are the journeys that we're on. I don't care if my mom thinks I'm being silly because I've decided that I want to start meditating and doing yoga every day. That's my journey. I'm sticking to it. So don't let people make you feel less than. Don't let people stop you in your beautiful journey of whatever works for you. Like we always say, you do you, boo. No one else should be able to tell you what to do. You are the boss of your own life. You do what makes you happy. You do what helps you to grow, to expand, to achieve the success or whatever it is that you want in your life. And no one else should be able to tell you differently.
Completely. And I feel like it's always, I mean, it can be your parents, it can be a relationship, but you always find that there will be someone that questions your journey or the steps that you're taking towards becoming a better person, because it doesn't align with what they believe or what they would do in their journey or in their steps to make themselves a different person. So always understand that what you're doing is for you and not for anybody else. And you don't have to have everyone agree with what you're doing, but if it works for you, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Exactly. And it just made me think of like, I listened to so many podcasts of like spiritual badass babes that are so successful now, and a lot of them were immigrants that parents like really had to like walk across their countries and sneak into the border and get them into this country to create a better life for them. And obviously their parents had a very specific plan for their kids of being doctors and lawyers, and like for them that just didn't align with them, and they didn't do what their parents want. And yes, they were met with a lot of conflict with their parents, and maybe even like parents not supporting them for a long period of their lives, but they're all super successful now because they continued following the path that felt most aligned to them, that felt right for them, that they knew was going to bring them happiness and eventually success. Oh, a little baby.
Hello.
Oh, guys, look at our newest little health and harmony babe.
She's so small.
Very small. She's like a little doll. So yeah, I think just remember that not everyone's going to understand your journey or agree with the things that you're doing. But if you are doing these things because they make you happy, they are what you want to do, and they bring you fulfillment, joy, and all of these beautiful things, then carry on doing that, because like we said in previous podcasts, you spend your life trying to be someone that think other people want you to be, and that's just going to bring you complete like disalignment with your true self, and probably lead you down a path that you're going to land up having to veer off anyway, because you're going to hate it.
You're going to hate it.
So that's our 6 things to remember when you feel hopeless. We hope this helped. Like I said, hope so many times in one sentence.
Yes, but we hope that you don't feel hopeless. Like, there are days, like we said, it is normal. You will feel hopeless, but on those days, try to remember these things, and there is a little bit of hope at the end of the tunnel. With the end of the tunnel.
There's always hope at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for listening to us ramble on again for another episode. We completely appreciate every single one of you that listens to us, and we love you.
Love you long time. See you next week.